Hey, what's up everyone? I've been working on this tutorial for a couple of days. I didn't want to come on here with a long-winded explanation. I really wanted to gather my thoughts to make them concise. The plan is to make this a thorough explanation, but I value your time, so I want to make it as short as possible. So we'll see how we do with that. We will be creating two designs. The first will be like a simple social media design just to test the waters, The second design actually will be the very YouTube thumbnail for this video. It's a bit more complex, but it's still very easy to do. Alright, if you're ready, I'm ready. Well, obviously, first you have to create an account. It's free to use, although they do have a paid version which allows you to upload fonts, create folders, and to better organize your work and some other things. But you really don't need that paid version by any means. I use the free and it works just fine. So once you do create an account, you'll come to a page like this where you get to choose what kind of graphic you're going to create, which already has the dimensions needed for it. If you want to use custom dimensions, then you just use this custom button. And we're going to get started with this social media. Let me show you what we're going to be creating first. We're going to start with this one here, which is something I posted today, I believe. And then we're going to go on to the thumbnail, which is this one here. So let's get started with the social media one. So once you press the social media template, it'll bring you here. And well, I learn best when I know what all the buttons do, so let's go over that. If you press on this Canva button, it's going to take you back home. If you press on this file, it'll let you resize your design, save it, or make a copy of it. If you make a mistake, no problem, because there's an undo button and a redo button. If you need any help, then just press this help button where they've answered tons of questions for you. Here is the name of this design, but you can always change it to something else before you download it. If you want to share it to emails or Facebook or Twitter, and to download it, and to make it public on Canvas's platform. Alright, now on to the left side here. If you want to search for photos or illustrations, they have a lot of images. Like anything that you type up here, they probably have. Most of them are free. A lot of them are free. The ones that you do have to pay for, they are only $1, and that's still a very good price. Okay, now on to layouts. Layouts are designs that are already professionally designed. All you have to do is personalize them to your liking. You can change the font, you can change what it says, you can change the color. It's just already there for you to just, if you're not that creative. They have a lot. I don't think I've ever gotten to the very bottom of this list. Alright, now on to elements. They have all sorts of things. Here's where you start to get creative with your design. You can add photos and illustrations here, grids to give your design a more structured look. They also have frames, which these are awesome. They really take the quality of your design to the next level. Up here they have grid-like frames, but down here is where you start to see some clever things like these phones and iPads and computers where you just insert any picture you want. Let's see what other elements they have. They also have shapes and lines, illustrations, icons, charts if you're doing some sort of presentation, and they have the I love Canva element to show your support, I guess. Okay, onto text. You can either create your own up here, or you can use one of their ready-made samples down here. They're already professionally done for you. All you have to do is go in and change the words. They even have some that are visually more elegant with added elements down here. And backgrounds. Backgrounds, you can either have a photo as your background, you can have the grids, you can have plain colored backgrounds, or you can choose one of these down here. Most are free. The ones that you do pay for, you pay $1, just like the photos and illustrations. And then this last button is where you will upload your photo, or you'll go back to see the ones you've uploaded in the past. To upload photos, all you have to do is drag and drop. After I figure out what I want to do, what quote I want to do a graphic around, I like to start off with my background first, whether it's plain, one of the ones they have available, or a picture in the background or a grid, I like to start from the bottom and work my way up. So with this social media post, what I did was use this picture that I got from pexel.com. So when you want to use a picture as your background, all you have to do is click on it. It'll bring it here. And to resize it, you just put your cursor over this circle here and move it to your liking. You can crop whatever you want out, leave whatever you want in, and just make it to where you think it's right. With pictures, you have several options. You can use the filters to change the look of it. They don't have that many options, but they have some good ones. You can turn up the brightness or not, and you can, mess around with the contrast. If you press on advanced options, you get a lot of more unique things like blur. If you ever have a picture that you want in the background, but you want the text that you put on top of it to stand out, that's when you would blur things out. And then the cool thing about this is that it gives you a code. So if you ever do mess around with this and you really like the way your picture looks, and you want to make another picture look just like that one with the same kind of filter, then you just paste this code there. That's the cool thing about it. But I'm going to keep this picture as is. I'm not going to do any sort of filters or anything. You can also flip your picture. You can flip it horizontally or vertically. And this little button here is to make it more transparent. If you want to just have a hint of the picture there, this is where you would go. And if you want to trash the picture, then this is where you would delete it. Okay, now I'm going to keep it this way. And to add the text on top, I'm going to go to this text box here. And, well, actually, I started off by adding the boxes around it first. To add the boxes, I'm going to Elements and to Shapes. And then we're going to use this square. Here we go. And I'm going to make it into more like of a rectangle. About that big. So once I have it the size that I want it, I'm going to make it the color I want it, which was, I believe, like a rose type color. If you don't see the color you want here, you can always press this plus sign and it'll give you this color wheel where you can move it around until you find a color you like. I'm going to stick with that one. And just like the filters, it gives you a code here where you can cut and paste into a different design you do later. If you want to, brand your pictures or your YouTube thumbnails or your pictures on Instagram with the same exact color, then you should save this color code here. And once you have your box, instead of grabbing another box for my other text and, resizing it and all that, I'm just going to copy it because I'm going to need 3 of them. So here we go. And it gives you these dotted lines to give you a guideline to make sure that your picture is, straight. All right, and I need one more. There we go. And now for the text, just go over to text, press add heading, and let's move this to where it belongs, which is, well. Once you start adding a lot of elements here, it starts to get a little wonky and it'll choose something you don't want to choose and it'll start moving that. So make sure you see that 4-headed arrow before you start moving your element that you actually want to move. Once I'm there, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight this to change it to business is, hold on, I forgot what it said. Building a business. Building a business. Okay, so now that I have the first part of this, I'm going to choose my font. One thing I do recommend is that you try to kind of like have an idea of what you're doing before you come on here and start designing. Like when I decided to design this on a piece of paper, I wrote down like how I wanted it to be, like building a business, and then is a process, and then not an event. So I cut it up into 3 parts, and then that led me to think, okay, 3 boxes. You know, if you plan before you come on here, it'll be a lot easier for you, and it'll come out a lot nicer too. So I'm gonna choose any font for now. I forgot which one I used. I think it was this Edo that I used. And I believe that it was a little bit bigger. Maybe let's go with the 48. There we go. And now that I have that, instead of grabbing another piece of text up here and dragging it and going through the whole process, I'm going to press copy here and drag it down and change the words. Is a process. Well, I forgot. 4-headed arrow. All right. Well, is a process. And then once again, copy. Not an event. Okay, and something I should have told you was all these options for the fonts here. Obviously, you know, you can choose any font. You can upload your own if you have the paid version. You can change the size, the color, pressing the plus sign so that you can customize the color. You can make it bold, italicized, make it left align, center align. You can make it capital here. What is this for? Oh, a list. Okay, and then also you can change the spacing. This is something I use often when I'm trying to use a quote on my picture that doesn't necessarily fit the way I want it. Pressing spacing and moving it closer to move the letters closer so that it can fit, or moving it more farther apart so that it can be more visible, you know. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. And if you have a whole, you know, square of a lot of text and you want to change the line height, this is where you would do that. And obviously I already spoke about copy. Arrange is when you want something to go to the back or the front. Sometimes if you put a box on top of some letters, the box will stay on top. So if you want it to go to the back so that you can see the letters in the front, this is where you would go. You can make it transparent, you can add a link, or you can trash it. So this is practically ready. I'm just going to add my name at the bottom so that when my image shows up on the Instagram search thing, people will know where to go to find more images like this or just to learn more, you know. So about that big, I make it's the same process as I did up here, but I'm gonna keep it white. And then for the text, I'll go ahead and use this middle one. Wait for the 4-headed arrow and move it down. And it gives you the dotted line if you want to have it centered. And then my Instagram name at Sandra _Leon. And I like to have my name very bold so that you could see it. Did I not make it full? Let's try it again. Oh, because it wasn't that one. It's Alpha Slab 1, the one I normally use, just to make it stand out. There we go. Alright, so there you have it. Quick, easy, just grab any quote you want, grab an image, put it on top of the image. It looks nice, and you can do it in minutes. You don't have to pay a graphic designer. Alright, now on to the next one. So for the YouTube thumbnail, we're going to press this plus sign, and we're going to look for the YouTube thumbnail template. here it goes, YouTube thumbnail. It's already the size that you need for when you upload your video. Just drag it and drop it and you're good to go. So once we're here, I started off by the background as I usually do. And for the background, this time I used a grid. And I used this grid right here. All right. Now that we have our grid, I'm going to continue building off of that. I'm going to add a photo here. I chose this rose photo. And then we're going to add our text. But before we add our text, I wanted to add a little bit more elements just to make it look more attractive. I used a circle here, and I believe that I made it kind of going off of the page. And we're going to make it pink, light pink. So press the plus sign to customize it. I wanted like a little light pink, probably like that. Okay, and now we're going to make it a little bit transparent just so that you can see the roses a little more. Probably like that should be fine. And now we're going to text. So, well. Alright, so now we're going to put in our first word, which is design. Design. And I don't remember the font I used. Let me see if I can remember. If not, I'll just choose any. How about this one? That one's good. I just have to make it bigger. About an 80 will do. And let's stretch it out so that it can fit the page. Or this little circle a little bit more better. I'm going to go ahead and space it just so that you can see it better and it can look a little more aligned. There we go. And now we're going to add our next word. The reason why I'm adding them separately is because I'm using different fonts and colors. If it was the same font and color for the whole text, then I wouldn't have to use all these different, go back and keep getting one of these texts. You can just go ahead and write everything you want here and then choose the font, color, and size, and you're good to go. But since I want different fonts, different colors, I have to do it separately. Next was stunning. And for this, I used a cursive type font. So let me find one really quick. Chicken script. Okay, and we made this pink. No, we didn't. We made it Canva blue. Well, as close to Canva blue as I'm willing to get. And then we're going to get this one and we're going to copy it because it's the same font, same size as the next word, which is graphics. Okay, and now let's copy this again so that we can add our small little words at the bottom that say fast and easy. I'm not worried about it going off of this little circle. I feel like it's pretty cool. Like it adds a little uniqueness to it. Fast. No, let's use this symbol. And easy. Okay, this I'm probably going to make it a little bit smaller so that it can fit better. Stretch it out so it can fit in one row. And then I wanted this to be a little different, so we're going to go ahead and do like dark gray. And we're going to go ahead and do something else. What can we do? How will this stencil look? No, that looks weird. Let's just do this. I like this. I just wish it fit in one row. So let's go ahead and make it a bit smaller. There we go. And actually, now that I recall, this was pink. Something looked off. There we go. Now this isn't exactly, but it's pretty darn close. I could go back and check what, fonts I used and on, but it's pretty close. Okay, so that's this part right here. And then I went to Elements and to Canva to add the little maiden Canva icon down there. And let's go with this one. Gonna bring it down here and make it smaller. And the very last thing we have to do on this side is make this blue. And it's that blue. Yep, there we go. Where was it? This blue. Let's go with that blue. Okay, so that part is done. I start from the bottom and work my way up. So to get rid of this, I want a white background. I don't want a picture back here. So I'm going to choose a picture that has space for me to do a white background, which is this one here. So I press this picture and I move it over until it fits, but you can still see the pencil. So I'm going to double click on it so that it can let me edit it. I'm going to stretch it out and get that pencil off of where you can see it. Check mark, because I'm done. And now we can add that phone. Here we go. And then we're going to add this phone here and make it bigger to fit this little square, rectangle, whatever it is. Okay, that's about as big as I can go, I believe. I wish I could make it wider, but it won't let me. Okay, and then to fill in this space, I just used the same roses again. So we're going to put these in here. Oh geez, why did it do that? Did it do that on the... No, I don't know why it did that. Okay, I'm going to scoot this phone over, get these roses off. Check mark. Okay, get these roses off by pressing delete. Not delete the element because it will delete the entire grid, but delete the image. And then we're going to go back to that white. Put it here. What are you doing? Double click so that I can stretch it out. Alright, check mark. And now we can move this phone over. So sometimes you just have to work around it. There's a lot of things you're going to figure out once you're, you start using it more. The more you use it, the better you'll get, the faster you'll get, and the more things you'll learn on how to get around things, because sometimes it can act a bit weird. Okay, so now for the icons that I used a YouTube icon. So just type in YouTube in the search. And there you have it. And let's make this way smaller. And we're going to put that right on top. Okay. And now the next icon we used was the Instagram icon. And we used this colorful one. Way smaller. I'm not worried about getting them centered and the right size at this moment. I'm just putting them on there for now. And last but not least, the Facebook icon. Which one did I use? The circle one. Zoop. Alright, now we can start to mess with it to make it a little more even. It says 103, 103 are the dimensions. I think I'm going to make it smaller so that the words can fit. I have to fit words right under these icons. Okay. 103. Jeez. I think that will be fine. 81, 81. And then YouTube. I'll try to hit this as top as I can. I want to make sure the words fit. Okay. So now onto the words. Let's go to text. Add heading. And put thumbnails. And we're going to make it a different font. Let's make it this one here. Move it. And we're going to have to change the size so that it can fit better. There we go. I don't want it to be too small. Let me see if I can go up a size and decrease the spacing so that it can still be big but still fit. There we go. Now all we have to do is copy. Oh, there it goes. And bring it down and change it to, what did I write? Photos. Copy. Bring it down. And change this to post. Okay, I believe that's everything. That was easy to do. It took me a long time the first time. I just wanted it to be a great graphic for the YouTube thumbnail. But the more you use Canva, the faster you'll get, the more ideas you'll have. You'll even start looking around you when you're at stores and stuff, looking at the graphics that they're using. It just starts getting really interesting. So that's everything. Let me just tell you about these things here. If you want to add a new page, just press add. If you want to copy the page you had before, you just press copy. And if you want to trash that page, you trash it. Whenever I'm doing graphics, I start adding a lot of pages just because if I wanted to do this graphic and I wanted to make a copy just to try to see if this pink would look better in a white, just to try to see what would look better. And at the end, when you download your picture, if you have a lot of pages and you press download, it'll download it as a zip file because it's more than one page. If you only want to download just one page, not the rest, then you just put that page number here and it'll do it for you. You can download it in a JPEG, PNG, and it'll tell you here what they recommend. And let me see, anything else I need to say. I think that's everything. I hope I covered everything. If you have any questions, then just leave a comment down below or DM me on Instagram, Sandra_Leon, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.